Welcome to Daisha Marie Presents. Now, for those of you that are new to the show, every week I like to touch base with beneficial people and also discuss beneficial topics that can help make your life a better one. Now, today my guest is a lawyer, singer, songwriter, keyboardist, and activist who goes by the name of Doc Martin, residing here in Los Angeles, California. So let's get to meet him and hear about his journey growing up. Doc Martin, nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us today.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. Now, your real name is Chris.
That is my real name?
Yes, but you go by the name of Doc.
Doc Martin, yeah.
Yes, so tell us how that name went about.
Well, the stage name Doc Martin stems from the fact that I'm a doctor of law, right? Like I graduated from law school and got my Juris Doctor.
Nice.
And I just thought that it was a cool name. I remember I did a little Facebook poll, just asking people like, what should my stage name be?
Really?
And somebody came up with the name Doc Martin. I was like, oh, snap.
Wow, okay. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I say that because I actually know you as Chris.
Yeah.
And Chris and I actually met also on the set of the gospel play where you were actually doing some acting.
Yeah.
So again, he was very quiet, but I had no idea he was so multi-talented and he done so many things. So I'm excited to get to know you and hear about your journey, So, all right, so the first question I have for you is, first let's start on becoming a lawyer. So when did you decide, okay, this is really what I want to do? Because I did hear passing the bar exam is not an easy thing to do. So when did you decide, like, okay, I'm going to be a lawyer? That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. In fact, passing the bar is a very hard thing to do.
Yeah, I heard.
Praise God, I passed.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you. So I decided that I wanted to be a lawyer. Okay, so it all stems from the 8th grade, where I took this test that showed people what careers, based on their answers, they should probably consider doing.
Really?
Right? Yeah. And so I took the test, and based on my answers, it suggested that I could be like one of 3 things, right? The first would be either an actor, second a preacher, and third a lawyer.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so I didn't think too much of it. I took that, the answers to the test to my mom, right? She saw that it said lawyer on there. And she just took that and ran with it.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, she transferred me out of the school that I was in and put me at Dorsey High School, which, had a law magnet program that, just basically pushed people towards a career in law. So I was super thankful to Dorsey High, D-House.
Wow, that's awesome. So so you would say your mom, she pretty much pushed you towards law?
Yeah. Definitely.
So it wasn't really your first choice, what you said.
I wanted to be a Power Ranger. That was my first.
Okay, like most kids out there.
Right.
Okay, well, goodness to that, because look at you now. Okay, so what type of law do you practice?
Yeah, so I practice a number of different things. Most of my experience is in what's called juvenile dependency, which is, represent parents who are trying to reunite their families after DCFS has gotten involved.
Okay. So like people who got their kids taken for child custody and all that?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing that for about 3 years, a little bit over 3 years now. And I also direct the legal team for Black Lives Matter Los Angeles.
That's huge. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've always had a passion for, just serving the people. You know what I mean? Ultimately serving God through serving the people.
Okay. Yeah.
That's something that's always been super important to me.
Definitely.
And when I saw just all the stuff that was going on in the world, starting with Oscar Grant in 2009, when I was in college, I knew that I had to organize around that. I knew I wanted to get involved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I was already doing the work in college in 2009. And around 2013, when Trayvon Martin happened, that was in 2012, but 2013 as well.
Rest in peace to him. That's big tragic.
Yes, sure. It basically just reconfirmed that was the work I wanted to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So you were a big activist during that time.
Yeah.
That's nice. Wow. Okay. So how long were you a lawyer before you decided that music is your true passion? Because Chris is also, or Doc, should I say, is also a very talented musician as well. So yes, no problem. When did you realize that, music is your true passion, even though you were actually a lawyer? Because I say that because I know the music career industry can be a little bit rocky sometimes versus being a lawyer is a real solid career, especially from the parental's perspective. So when did you decide that this is actually my true passion and being a lawyer is not?
Well, I decided that, music has always been a passion of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I've been singing since the age of 5 or 6. Back in 1995, when my sister encouraged me to join the Phillips Temple Children's Choir. I think they call it the Cherubian Choir. I will never forget that. So ever since then, I developed a passion for singing. But it wasn't until around 2010 or 2011 where I noticed that I was pretty decent at it. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm in Travis. I'm pretty good.
Yeah. I'm near professional quality, but not quite around that time. You know what I mean? And then in law school, I just took my talents to a completely different level. You know what I mean? And it was probably in law school that I decided that singing is something I want to continue to do while I practice law. The main goal is still to become an attorney.
Yeah.
And I did that.
Yeah.
I would also know that there was some, I remember in 2012, I got really seriously off into singing, performing at nightclubs and, things like that. And people would be like, yo, you should let me be your manager. I can make you a star within the year, making all these type of promises and stuff like that. But at the time I decided that if I did that, I wouldn't be able to finish law school. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Because you wanted something to actually fall back on that was for sure, guaranteed.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
But I've done that now.
Yeah.
I've accomplished that now, and made a lot of money from it, made enough money from it, and now I have the time and the resources to be able to pursue my passions.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So tell us, what was the transition like coming from a lawyer to a musician? So how did you get into it, or did you already still have your connections from when you were doing it growing up?
Yeah, man, it was a scary transition.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I bet. That's complete opposite, a lawyer and a musician.
Yeah, to go from, working at a firm and, making the money and all of that stuff to, taking some time to myself to decide, man, I'm really serious about this music stuff. Mm-hmm. It just won't go away. It's like an obsession of mine.
Yeah, it's in your heart, yeah.
It's in my heart, it's in my soul. Mm-hmm. I gotta do something with it. I can't let it go to waste.
Yeah, definitely.
So it was hard, but I'm thankful. I do not regret it at all.
Yeah.
I don't regret it at all.
That's awesome. So what did you do? Start hitting people back up? Okay, I want to book some studio time. Let's just do it, or let's take a break from law and start recording some more songs. Or what did you what action items did you?
Yeah. So I am the lead singer of a band called Brown Suede, where another guy is a lawyer.
Wow. So it's a group that you guys
have? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was just a natural transition because we're both lawyers who, do this thing for real, full time, but he's a talented guitarist as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And,
wow.
I'm a singer, so we just naturally linked together. And while I was still working at my firm, we just started making music.
Nice. So it's just you two?
Yeah.
Wow. So where did you guys get how did you get Brown Suede of all names? Because that's a very interesting name.
Right. That's a name that he came up with long before I got involved with it. You know what I mean? He had a full band. You know how in bands basically there's switchable parts. You know what I mean? People come, people go, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so there were different people in the band at the time that he had come up with the name. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I just basically eventually came in around 2017 like took over as the lead singer.
Wow. Oh, so you're the lead. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, Doc, which artist would you say you can relate to the most? Like, who's one of your favorite artists that she's like, okay, they remind me of myself, or I remind myself, or I'm similar to them? Like, who would you say?
Yeah, I would say, oh my gosh, one of the artists that I relate to the most. Not saying that I'm like this artist in any way, shape, or form, but I relate to Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye. Wow. Yeah. So not even a new, you went old school.
Right,
Okay.
I went old school. I'm like, man, that brother knows how to love a woman.
Yes.
He knows how to express that he wants to.
Yes, definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
So you took me back to the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I realized they don't make music like they used to anymore. It's not. So would you say Marvin Gaye just because of the feeling that you get when you hear the music?
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
Okay. That's awesome. So I also noticed that Brown Suede was on the radio. Congratulations to that. Tell us about how that opportunity came about. And which song it was also.
It was our song called The One.
Okay.
And it all started because a friend of mine named Christian in the Bay Area, who I met while I was in law school up there, we used to always do karaoke. You know, I had a little karaoke crew up there. You know what I mean? He was in that group. And basically, he got word there was like a song contest to get on the radio.
Wow.
You know, and he just basically tagged me. And he was like, "Yo, you should submit some stuff." You know.
And was this here in Los Angeles or?
It was in the Bay Area actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was in the Bay Area. They were looking for Bay Area talent.
Oh, wow.
Even though I'm born and raised in LA, I took the fact that I went to law school out there to say that, yeah, I'm a Bay Area artist.
Exactly.
You know? For the purposes of this contest, I'm a Bay Area artist. You know what I mean?
You like, I have some stuff there.
Yeah, exactly. So it was KMEL, which is like the biggest radio station out there in the Bay Area.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I submitted my song, and about like 2 weeks later, I got a call from them saying like, "You won." And like, not only is it gonna be on KMEL, it's gonna be on 92.3 out here in LA. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was like a dream come true.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is, people always ask me like, "What is my goal with music? What do I want to do?"
Yeah.
And I would always tell them, I just want to get on the radio one time. If I got on the radio one time, I feel like I've accomplished what I want to accomplish. You know what I mean? But it turns out that when you accomplish a goal, yes, you want more. You want more. And so now it's like, I don't want to just get on the radio one time. I want to be in the rotation.
Exactly.
Then after that, it's going to be something else.
Yes, awesome. Yeah, definitely. That's amazing. Well, congratulations to that. I know you were like super happy singing, hearing your song.
Yes, dream come true.
Yeah, did anybody call you like, hey, I think I just heard your song?
Yes.
Did they?
Yes.
Wow,
yes,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. So if you also could work with anyone in the music industry, whether it be a producer, artist, anybody, who would it be and why?
I would say D'Angelo.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
You're taking me back here.
Yeah.
You're bringing me back old school, all right? Why D'Angelo?
So D'Angelo, Maxwell, Music Soul Child, Jill Scott, like just some of the like neo soul artists that I grew up listening to. You know what I mean? Like those are some of my role models that, you know, I like really patterned my style after.
Yeah.
You know, like Music Soul Child was my favorite artist of all time in college.
Wow.
You know, and D'Angelo has like one of the first songs I can ever remember liking in my entire life, like as a child.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Brown Sugar.
Yeah, I love that song. Okay, yeah, that's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
Wow, so you took us back.
Yeah.
Like, none of these, so you wouldn't say that there's no current artists that you can relate to? And if you don't, that's okay. I'm just curious to know because a lot of people are saying that the music, again, is just not the way that it used to be.
You know what? I would love to work with perhaps like a Kendrick Lamar or something like that on a social justice tape or something like that. You know, we got that song, All Right. We gonna be all right. Yeah. I'd love to do something like that with him, you know what I mean?
Nice, okay. Cool, well, thank you for sharing that information, for sure. Now, Chris, if you can give any future advice to up-and-coming lawyers or even up-and-coming musicians, what would it be?
Any advice to musicians or lawyers who are up-and-coming?
Let's first start with lawyers.
Lawyers?
Yeah, any up-and-coming lawyers.
If you want to be a lawyer, first of all, you gotta make sure that is really what you want to do. Like, don't just go because you think it'll be like a good, thing to do, because like law school is not an enjoyable experience. You know what I mean? It is not how some people may think like undergrad is in college, where like it can be like a fun party experience. It's like, no, it's like a ton of work. You really should only like do it if that's something that you really want to do. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to work harder than you've ever worked before, but you put in the work, you can do it.
Definitely. And it took you how long to become a lawyer?
Law school is 3 years.
3 years, okay.
So I went to UC Hastings, graduated class of 2015.
That's awesome. So for future up-and-coming musicians, because you're that as well, what advice would you give them?
Future up-and-coming musicians. I would say, when it comes to, gaining the necessary exposure, first, you want to make sure that your music is really good. You know what I mean? If you can, get with the right producers, the right engineers who can, make you sound like $1 million. You know what I mean? Take the time to hone your craft, and write as many songs as possible. You know what I mean? That's some of the stuff. And then I would also say learn how to market yourself as a musician, how to get your name out there, how to get exposure, and on your social media and things like that.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you, Docs, for joining us. When you come back, next time you're gonna definitely have to come back and let us know what else you're up to and what you got coming out. And that's the next thing I was gonna ask you. What can we expect for you coming up? Like, what do you have that you're currently working on? Yes.
So I'm gonna be releasing a song coming up pretty soon called Obsession. It is a little solo project from me apart from my band Brown Suede. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So this is just gonna be you?
Yeah. Like my solo stuff is a little bit different in style from like the stuff that I do with my band. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to it. It's got an intro by Neo.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm super thankful for that. A lot of people it's generated some buzz already.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Next month.
That's what I was gonna ask you. When can we expect that?
Yeah, that's gonna be next month. And I also got some stuff with Brown Suede coming out too. I'm looking forward to y'all hearing.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Doc, for joining us. And also, before you leave us today, where is the best place that people can reach you, reach the band, and find everything you're up to, so you can keep track? Yeah. So on Instagram, you can find me on Instagram at DOC_Martin MARTIN 88. Yeah, that's my Instagram. If you search for Brown Suede on Spotify or any of those other streaming platforms, we're on all streaming platforms, so you can find our music there. And if you search for Doc Martin on those streaming platforms, you'll find me too. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, well, thanks again for coming today, and we're definitely gonna have to have you back on the show. Thank you. When you win that song with Neo gets released, you getting the Grammys and everything. Come back and see us for sure. Thank you. Yes, and I'm gonna attach all his information at the bottom of the screen, so you guys can definitely check that out. But that wraps it up, you guys, for Daisha Marie Represents, and I will see you next time. See you later.